This PC is for all the RGB haters out there. The ones who gag at the sight of rainbow puke PCs. The ones who prefer complete darkness within their system, just like their empty souls. You know who you are. This PC is dedicated for those who prefer no RGB light. The gaming monitor of your dreams is finally here, and the best part is you don't need to sell a kidney to afford one. Whether you're a competitive gamer or a casual gamer, ViewSonic has the perfect display for you. The XG2736 2K is the bigger stepbrother that features a 27-inch 1440p IPS display with a staggering 240Hz refresh rate and blazing fast 0.5 milliseconds response time, which is perfect for the casual gamer that wants to enjoy their games in a higher resolution, but also take advantage of the higher refresh rates. The XG2536 is the smaller stepbrother that features a 25-inch 1080p IPS display, but with a much higher 280Hz refresh rate that's catered for the more competitive gamers out there. Both displays feature a beautiful, color-accurate IPS panel with exceptional viewing angles, RGB accents in the back that you can change, and it comes with a 65-watt quick-charging USB-C port that also offers fast data, audio, and video transfers, perfect for connecting a laptop or other compatible devices. So level up your setup and pick one up today by clicking the link below. So powering this entire build is the brand new Intel Core Ultra 285K.
One eternity later.
Seriously, who comes up with these naming schemes at Intel? Wouldn't it be easier just to call this the 15900K? Huh? All jokes aside, this is supposed to be Intel's flagship CPU with 24 total cores, 8 performance cores, and 16 from Efficient. And we also got 24 total threads with a maximum turbo clock of 5.7 gigahertz. Hold on one sec. Huh. I could have sworn the specs are higher on the new CPU compared to the older generation of chips. Must be an editing mistake. In all seriousness though, I'm shooting this video literally like 3 days before the embargo lifts on the reviews of the processor, so I don't know if this is going to perform better than the 15900K or the 7800X 3D processor from AMD, which is currently the king of gaming CPU. So I'll just toss some benchmarks on the screen from my favorite YouTube channel, Hardware Unboxing. You guys can be the judge for yourselves. Okay, so apparently you have to buy a new motherboard if you want to use the new Intel Core Ultra processors, but luckily ASUS was kind enough to send me a care package so that I can complete this build. So for the motherboard, we are going with the ROG Maximus Z890 Hero. Let's take this out of the box. Oh, whoa. I usually get weak in the knees when I look at an all-white board, but there's something to be said about an all-black, stealthy motherboard, you guys. That is absolutely gorgeous. Even I can appreciate an all-black motherboard. This is something else. Okay, so we got these massive heat sinks near the top that will help keep the VRMs running cool, but we also have 4 DIMM slots, which I was told can run compatible 4 DIMM kits at high frequencies, up to 192 gigs. Maybe we'll start to see a return with people populating all 4 DIMM slots. Maybe this is the comeback, you guys. But yeah, the super clean, all-black aesthetic of this board is gonna fit beautifully with our non-RGB system, and I don't think I could have picked a better board to slot in this PC, if I'm being honest. All right, let's go and pop in our CPU. I wonder if the installation is the same. Okay, so we lift up the lever, pop open the cover, match the triangles, pop it in just like that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So the process is the same, that's good. All right, next up we are popping in our memory kit from G.Skill. These are the brand new Trident Z5 CK. And I believe we have a 40 gigabyte kit running on, holy sweet baby Jesus, 8200 megahertz. I'm just looking at the frequency right now. That is actually nutty. Oh, no way. These look clean. Is that a glossy finish on these? Hold up. That is so clean. I love this glossy coating on these sticks. Dude, I feel like by the time I'm done with this build, I'm gonna completely switch over to the dark side. I'm gonna throw Big Red version 5 in the trash and just go completely non-RGB for my next build. I'm loving these. I am loving these. Okay, wow. I feel so dirty touching these. It's gonna leave some fingerprints on here, so I'm gonna do my best to grab it from the sides. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I mean, that looks so damn good. That looks so clean. I'm falling in love. Slowly but surely, I'm falling in love. We're not even like 25% done with the build. So for storage, we're keeping it simple. We're just gonna go with a 2 terabyte Gen 5 NVMe SSD from Crucial. And we got the support for Gen 5, so why not use it? Now, I will be installing Windows 11 Pro on here specifically because I want to take advantage of the full capabilities of Intel Thread Director. This basically sends the right workload to the right core at the right time, and this is only available on Windows 11. But instead of dropping 2 Benjamins on a key from Microsoft, I picked one up dirt cheap at VIPorcdkey.com. Now, to be clear, they do sell Windows 10 Pro keys as well if that's the route you guys want to take, but just make sure to use my code TS20 to get that extra discount. After checking out, just simply visit the user center up top, then navigate to your orders page and reveal the key so that you can copy and paste it in the activation settings of Windows and you're good to go. So one of the cool new features of the new Z890 boards from ROG, and my personal favorite, is the redesigned Q release system. So check this out. If you guys want to install your NVMe drive, all you have to do is pull down this metal bracket, remove the heatsink, install the drive by inserting it in here, and using the new redesigned Q release system, lock it in place, just like that. Then grab the heatsink, put it back on there, and then lock it in place. I can't stress how much we need this across all the other motherboards. Like, it just makes the building process so much easier and more fun. So thank you, ROG, for always improving the PC building experience. Now for the graphics card, I've decided to go with the Asus TUF RX 7900 XTX, and mainly because this is the only card I can find that's mostly all black with very little to no RGB light. So I think it's gonna fit perfectly with this theme. But I wanna take this out of the box so I can show you guys the new Q release system from ROG. So normally when you're installing a graphics card, you always wanna put it in the top PCI slot to take advantage of the bandwidth to make sure that your card is running at its max potential. So the installation part is very simple. You slide it in, it snaps, and you're good to go. But now if you want to remove the graphics card, all you have to do is hold down the motherboard and simply pull out the card, just like that. No more pressing a button or releasing the tab, potentially breaking something. And this is actually a very clever design which will help you in those very tight spaces, especially if you're running a massive heatsink and it's almost impossible to reach that release tab on the top of the PCI slot. So this design is so much better. So the PC we are building in today will certainly give all the non-RGB lovers out there some wood. Literally, because it's got some wood on it. This is the AP-NX V1, which is a part of their new Vision series that's been a project over a year in the making. It kind of looks like a reversed height Y60 case with the 45-degree angle that's been shifted towards the back, which was designed for a better cooling solution. Kind of similar to the H6 Flow. In other traditional dual-chamber fish tank cases, the side fans simply blow air towards the glass panel, not really offering direct cooling to the GPU or the rest of the components. But simply adding a 45-degree angle bracket over here will allow for the intake fans to essentially pull in cold air towards the rest of the components and then out from either the back or from the top. In fact, that's what the top mesh ventilation pattern visualizes. You can kind of see the path of the airflow within, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, other than that, I'm really digging the design of the case. It's sleek, it's modern, you get screwless panels all around, making the build process much easier for you, and it comes in 3 different color schemes with 3 additional options with the wood paneling. So in total, you get 6 different combinations. So since there aren't that many coolers in the market right now that support the new Intel socket, we're gonna have to use what ROG sent us with the bundle, which is the ROG 3 Extreme. But there's one big problem. It's got RGB. Well, luckily we got a fix for that.
Perfectly balanced.
We got some Noctua fans, but I made a mistake of ordering only 140mm fans for some reason. So we got the 120s coming in later today, but we'll use what we can. All right, let's go ahead and pop in the motherboard. What I like about the case is that it gives me the option of either leaving it in the standard default position, or I can move it towards the top if I want more clearance on the bottom. But since we have the AIO with the fans on the top, I definitely do want a bit more clearance on the top of the case, so I'll leave it in the default position.
The next day.
Okay, so good news, the fans have arrived. I should say the correct fans have arrived. The 120s from Noctua are finally here, so I say we should pop these in the AIO and then slap that inside the case. Oh my god, this already had thermal paste. Ah, why did I put more on there? Okay, so the AIO is installed, and I could have technically removed the top bracket to make the installation a lot easier, but we just have so much clearance that I didn't feel the need to. But you know, the option is there if you want to remove the top bracket if you're installing inside this case. But yeah, I do think the Noctua fans will complement this case specifically. So let's go ahead and install the rest of the fans in there. Yeah, it's coming along nicely. I can start to see why a lot of you guys prefer no RGB. I can see it now, I can visualize it. It's extremely clean. I do believe that color pops so much more on top of black because it's so contrasty. So even like brown against black sticks out quite a bit. And overall, I'm digging it. I'm digging the whole no RGB look. Maybe Big Red version 6 will be no RGB. Still white color scheme, but maybe just pure white and no colors. I don't know. I'm still sleeping on it. But yeah, definitely loving the way this build is coming out. We installed all the fans. We got 3 intake on the bottom, of course, and then we got 3 intake over here on the side, which is non-negotiable because if you don't put intake on here, it defeats the purpose of the whole 45-degree angle because we need to pull in air from the outside and then in the case towards the rest of the components and then out from the back or the top. And then we have 3 exhaust fans on the top. So we do have a bit of positive pressure, but I always say better positive than negative. I could technically add 1 more exhaust fan in the back to kind of balance out the air pressure, but honestly, I don't think we need any more fans in here. We're using Noctua fans, some of the best performing fans in the market, so I have no doubt in my mind that we're gonna be fine in the thermals department. Also, technically, I could have gone with dual 140s either on the bottom or the top, and that would have helped me balance out the air pressure more, but I'd rather fit triple 120s than dual 140s. That's just my personal taste because it looks much nicer filling up the entire bracket as opposed to leaving, you know, like a portion of the bracket with a gap. That's just aesthetics, of course. So yeah, with that said, let's pop in the power supply. We'll be using my favorite power supply to date, which is the Leanly Edge 1000. I absolutely love this power supply because not only is it a lot easier to connect the cables, but you get 4 USB headers on the power supply itself, which comes in clutch for a lot of my builds. I also want to talk about the compartment down here real quick. This is one of the better systems for storage that I've seen in a case. So on the bottom portion of the chamber, we have this bracket that essentially swings open and you can add up to 6 drives. So either 6 SSDs or a combination of hard drives and SSDs. And the cool thing about it is that it hides all of the cable mess on the bottom here once you close it out. But if you do need the extra space, you can simply just remove it all together. All right, right, the final piece to the puzzle is of course our RX 7900 XTX. Now I can install this in the traditional way by popping it in the top PCI slot, or we can do it in the vertical position, which I think looks a lot cooler. But in order to do that, we have to install the optional vertical GPU mount that's sold separately. Okay, now that the PC is done, I do have a few things I want to say about this case in particular. First and foremost, I had a pleasure building inside here. Everything went smooth. I had no issues with it, tons of clearance for all my components, and I dig the look. I do. It's a nice spin-off of the overused dual chamber fish tank cases that we see everywhere. And I think this particular design with the angled corner is going to be the new trend in the PC building space. With that said, the wood panel over here in the corner doesn't make a lot of sense, okay? I think it looks good, don't get me wrong. And I love that you can choose from a variety of different options, but it's hardly visible if you have the PC sitting on your desk to the right. It's located towards the rear of the case and you're not able to look at it from a sitting position, nor would it show up on your photos if you're trying to take a picture of your PC and post it on IG or whatever. You can only see it if you're first walking into your room to sit down at your setup, or you have to rotate the case towards the back to look at it. And at that point, you can only see the panel and nothing else. At least with the other wood accent cases, you can see the inside of the case along with the wood panels all from one angle. I guess what I'm trying to say here is, why spend an extra $20 for an accent panel if you're not gonna even see it? Now that's only a very small nitpick that I have with this case, which only affects aesthetics, but performance-wise, it performs exactly as how you would expect. We were looking at extremely low temps across the board, playing my favorite game currently, Once Human in 1440p, very high settings. The 285K processor peaked at 61 degrees, but stayed in the low and mid 50s for majority of the gameplay. That is the coolest I've seen an Intel processor achieve under an AIO, which is saying a lot because Intel's high-end CPUs tend to run very warm. The GPU also stayed very cool, hovering between 61 and 63 degrees Celsius. This is certainly a combination of using some of the best cooling fans on the market and the 45-degree angle for the intake fans, which help direct the airflow to the CPU and the rest of the components. Now, this wouldn't be a TechSource PC build video if I didn't complain about the tiniest, most minuscule things that don't even matter. Like the gunmetal gray color from the GPU shroud, throwing off the consistency of the black colors surrounding it. But I had to mention it, and now you can't unsee it. But other than that, I'm definitely loving the whole non-RGB look of this build. I think the brown accents from the fans and the cables complement each other and add just enough pop to where it makes the build stand out without overdoing it. With that said, you guys will probably see me feature this case on the channel in the near future because I really enjoyed my time building in it. But yeah, links to the case and everything I used in the build will be tossed down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, subscribe for more PC builds coming your way. I think we have like 3 more coming for the month of November. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.